One thing I've discovered is that you can do all the things that successful people do. You can learn all the tactics. In fact, I show you many of the tactics in this program. But if you don't learn to think the way that successful people think, then you'll never have the results that successful people have. Mindset is critical. Let's dive in. Welcome to Success Sundays with Harrison. I'm your host, Harrison Wilder. I'm a corporate strategist and entrepreneur with an executive MBA from the George Washington University. I've managed 2 multi-million-dollar companies, and I advise top-level executives from a variety of industries. In this show, you'll find practical insights that will help you succeed as a leader in today's business environment. If you're serious about developing your skills as an executive, this is the place for you. Enjoy today's episode. Have you ever stopped to just listen to your mind for a minute? Like to really listen to all the things that are going on inside of your brain? It's a crazy place, right? Your mind is designed just like a computer, and it keeps going and going, asking questions, and then answering those questions from every possible angle. Well, you can take some comfort in the fact that you are not your mind. Your mind is a tool that you can access. It has a job to do to analyze everything. But you are the person who is able to observe those thoughts. You're the person sitting back, paying attention to what is going on in your mind. And you are the person deciding which of those thoughts that you really want to dwell on, the ones that you're going to allow to take root and become your own. This is what mindset is. It is setting the mind in a particular direction. Successful people like my friend Unleashed Larry that I love to talk about, they've learned to filter out the thoughts that are not serving them well and to focus on those thoughts that will move them toward their desires. When Confined Carl, he does the opposite. He dwells on thoughts that are holding him back from his potential. So how do you know if your mindset needs work? Well, it's easy, actually. If you're experiencing the life you want, then I'd say your mindset is serving you well. If you're frustrated with your life and disappointed with your progress, then I'd say that your mindset has room for improvement. To be honest, I shied away from mindset most of my life. The idea of doing mindset work, it just seemed hard. Thinking about what I'm thinking about, documenting it, like figuring out which thoughts are helpful or not helpful, and then forcing myself to dwell on the right things, it all felt heavy. And maybe you've tried to address your mindset before. Maybe, like me, you found it difficult to control your thoughts and only dwell on the ones that serve you well. Well, what I've seen is that discipline and self-control alone can only get you so far with mindset, and it's a hard road to take. But what if there's a more powerful way? What if you could install a filter at the subconscious level that would automatically do the hard work for you? So my dad is a lawyer. My dad's dad was a lawyer. My older sister is a lawyer. So it won't surprise you to know that I was raised to think about all the things that could go wrong in any situation. In fact, I'd say we take a certain amount of pride in our family in foreseeing the potential for things to go wrong. Of course, that mindset has served me well at times, but it doesn't lend itself well to trusting other people. Early in high school, my mindset made it difficult for me to experience the joy of meaningful relationships. I had difficulty letting people in and connecting on an emotional level. Perhaps you've experienced this as well. Have you ever allowed yourself to focus on thoughts that damaged your relationship with someone? The other person may or may not have even done anything wrong, but you started shutting them out. Well, if I was going to experience better relationships, my mindset needed to be adjusted. But what was I supposed to do? It would have taken years of disciplined mind to capture all of those lawyer thoughts and replace them with something that would serve me better. I knew I didn't have that kind of self-control anyway. I imagine you're thinking the same thing about your needed mindset adjustments. Doesn't it feel like too much hard work? Maybe even impossible? At the same time, you recognize that it's totally necessary if you're going to experience the unleashed life. There has to be an easier way. As it turns out, my mindset about this particular thing in relationships was able to shift suddenly, and discipline had nothing to do with it. The summer after my sophomore year, I went to the Governor's School for the Arts. It was a multi-week camp, and I was determined to develop my skills as a percussionist. I was minding my own business, walking to class, when one of the other students confronted me about being so serious all the time. After poking fun at me, she took my ball cap, put it on backwards, looked up at me with a smile, and just like a country boy in a country song, I was immediately hooked. To my lawyer brain, there was nothing right about this situation. I had just started seeing someone back at home. The girl wearing my ball cap was in a relationship herself. We didn't live in the same town. I was supposed to be focused on my studies. This whole thing was going to end in disaster. We both knew it, and in fact, it did. But here's the thing. I learned something before that summer was over. It was a new belief, a new story I could tell myself. Here it is. All relationships have a purpose. Some are going to end badly. Some are going to hurt. Some are going to leave. But every one of them, if you allow them to, will have purpose. They'll show you something about yourself you didn't know. They'll teach you something. They'll heal something. They'll make you better. All relationships have a purpose. Here's the point. One new belief, one new story that you tell yourself can replace years of disciplined mindset work. Armed with my new belief about relationships, I had no trouble filtering out all the negative thoughts in my mind about what could go wrong in a relationship. It didn't matter. No matter what happens, it's okay. The relationship will serve its purpose. What I want you to see is that it is more powerful to replace the stories that you are telling yourself than it is to focus on controlling your thoughts. I've learned that if I can surround myself with empowering beliefs, with stories that I tell myself about the world around me, stories that are uplifting, stories that lend towards success, then my mindset is automatically adjusted at the subconscious level. The crazy awesome thing about stories is that you can actually tell yourself any story that you want to. And if you're going to choose something to believe, if you're going to choose a story, then choose stories that serve you well. Over the years, I discovered that there are several stories that successful people tell themselves. These are beliefs that Confined Carl does not have and often feels he's not even allowed to have. These stories are reserved for the unleashed life. If you're ready to think like Unleashed Larry and experience the unleashed life for yourself, then let me encourage you. In fact, let's make it this week's Success Challenge of the Week. Get around the stories and beliefs of successful people. Where can you make sure you go this week? Who can you hang out with? What can you watch that will fill your mind with stories that successful people tell themselves? Surround yourself with these stories, and you'll see your mindset instantly level up. If you have any questions for me that I might be able to help you with in a future episode, post them down in the comments. Love to hear from you and love to create content that's super helpful and relevant for you. So put them in the comment. My team's going to tee those ideas up for me. But until then, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next episode. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You know, great businesses and great leaders are built using effective communication. For more, go to speakingschool.com, grab my Elite Business Success Toolkit for free just for trying out our Speaking School membership. That's speakingschool.com. See you next time.